to another Dark Rain video. This time I'm going to be showing you our Rage DPS Loadout and Guide, and we will be utilising the advanced mechanic. Now first up, the iconic powers tree. With this particular loadout, guys, the only iconic power I could manage to get was Tactical Genius. Always get this over Weapons Expert if you have to make a choice. Next up, the Anger tree. So from this tree I decided to take Rage Blast, Relentless Anger, Eviscerating Chain, Outrage, Violence, Lacerate, and of course Galling Eruption. Next up on the agenda, the Punishment tree. From this tree I've taken Ragebringer, Revenge, Frenzy, Plasma Retch, Remorseless Recovery, Dreadful Blast, and of course the buff Bloodlust. Next up, guys, the loadout. So on the bar I have got Bloodlust, Revenge, Outrage, Eviscerating Chain, Galling Eruption, and Plasma Retch. This is a melee specific loadout, guys. So next up, the rotation and how I use it in combat. Pay close attention, guys, this is going to be thick and fast. Galling Eruption, click with Bloodlust, Plasma Retch, jump cancel it, Outrage into the additional combo, Revenge into the additional combo, Eviscerating Chain into the additional combo, then put Plasma Retch back down. Now I appreciate that's gone by pretty quickly, but I've left this rotation up and continued to perform it for a prolonged period of time this time because I think it's a bit harder to get to grips with. Plus, if you are a Rage DPS, you need old school clipping skills. You need to be able to reduce the animation time of your combos in order to maximize your damage per second. If you allow the animations to continue to run, then your damage per second will begin to suffer over a prolonged period of time. So essentially, how does Rage mechanics work? Basically, you need to ensure that you have up Savage State, and in order to activate you having a Savage State, all you have to do is activate one of your powers that chains into a combo, such as Outrage, such as Revenge, such as Eviscerating Chain. These will all put you into a Savage State. Then when you try to do a Rage combo again off the back of that one, you will receive some power back. Now with Rage, your power back mechanic isn't as efficient as some of the other advanced mechanics out there, but when you're in a raid, you genuinely won't notice yourself losing power. No controller will have any problems keeping you powered throughout the duration of the raid. So I start off the rotation by clipping Galling Eruption with Bloodlust, which lays down a plasma burn on the enemy and buffs all of your attacks with Bloodlust. Now I also follow that up with Plasma Retch, which you need to jump cancel in order to make sure you've got the dot down, but then you can continue attacking. Now the thing with Plasma Retch is it's an extremely aggressive dot, but it doesn't last for very long, so you do need to put it up around every 6 to 7 seconds, I believe it is. Once your dots are up and running, just go to town with your Rage combo. So Outrage into the extra measure, same thing with Revenge that looks a little bit like Hardlike's Claw Smash, then into Eviscerating Chain with its finisher, then back into Outrage, and just keep rotating around them like that. And then whenever 6 or 7 seconds have passed, get Plasma Retch down the range, jump cancel it, then back into Outrage, and just keep rifling through this as quickly as you can. But be careful when you are clipping the animations. Sometimes I clip them too soon and I lose that damage, and that is wasted damage throughout that time period. So make sure, 1, it's not too quick, or 2, you let them drag on too long. It will take a bit of practice, guys, but I'm sure in no time you'll have a firm grip on it. Another loadout I've been running with, but I don't have a demo for you today, I'll post it at a later date, was I remove Revenge and I put Dreadful Blast in its place. And I also take out Eviscerating Chain and I put in Relentless Anger in its place. Relentless Anger will buff your damage for a short period of time, but the main reason I have it in raids is because it means I can go toe to toe with heavy hardcore enemies, because it will heal you as you get attacked, and because you're constantly rifling through your rage based combos, it means you're very unlikely to crash unless you are interrupted by something. And the thing with Outrage and Dreadful Blast is they go really nicely together in terms of cooldown. So you get Outrage off, do the extra measure, clip it with Dreadful Blast, go into Dreadful Blast, and on that last animation where your character just pulls their arm back, boom, back into Outrage again. The only raid I really wouldn't recommend you doing a melee style DPS with Rage at the minute is probably Happiness Home. If you go in there and try to do it, everything's just going to decimate you, and even your Rage mechanic and 2 healers will not keep you standing for very long. because the damage that comes in just exceeds your health pool. It's just not going to happen. Now try to remember with Rage, guys, that you need an extremely aggressive and fast-paced damage style. If you're not clipping all of the animations and making your rotation nice and smooth, your damage will suffer. And it's not because Rage is bad, or because the power you're against is massively overpowered. It's because you're not bothering your ass to do anything. You need to be on it all of the time. Other powers can get away with standing around and rifling through a 3-button rotation, because once they get to the end of that, they'll hit all the ads in the vicinity for 40,000. You can't get away with that. You need to be constantly on it, all of the time. With Rage, as it is now, I'd say it's very similar to how Hardlight used to perform and behave a couple of years ago. Just utter clipping madness and utilise those precision-based combos. Now, when you're speccing for Rage, I do recommend putting precision and might into your red sockets. I've gone heavy precision with this particular tune, but I genuinely wish I hadn't, because you do pull out so many might numbers, it's not worth gaining a trivial amount of precision in exchange for a large loss of might. So try to put precision and might in your red sockets. All of the other sockets, guys, feel free to put in precision and power and precision and health. Next up is some heavy Rage damage. Enjoy.
They'll deal our hand. They'll say that we went off track, off roads we ran. Getting lost was the best we had. I've got one wish, and it starts and it ends like this. And it starts and it ends like this. And I wrote down to show how I know how it ends. And I wrote down to show how I know how. And we'll write our names in lights as we're sitting on the back of our hands. And we'll stand our ground tonight to sing this song for you. And we'll write our names in lights as we're sitting on the back of our hands. And we'll stand our ground tonight to sing this song. Our names in our names in our names in and I wrote down to show how I know how it ends. And I wrote down to show how I know how. And we'll write our names in lights as we're sitting on the back of our hands. And we'll stand our ground tonight to sing this song for you. To sing this song for you. And we'll write our names in lights as we're sitting on the back of our hands. To sing this song. Write our names in lights as we're sitting on the back of our hands. And we'll stand our ground tonight, to sing this song. Our names in write our names in lights as we're sitting on the back of our heads. Stand our ground tonight, to sing this song. Our names in love.